Hey, everybody, it's time for another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, where we talk about all things related to the Central Kentucky Tennis Series and maybe a whole lot more that you've never asked for. This is Tuesday, September 21st. I'm Chris Godby, the chairman and one of the founders of the CKTS, where the lines are good and sandbagging is for golf. I'm here at the CKTS home office in Russell Springs. Back with me today from an undisclosed area near Bowling Green is the director of one of our CKTS tournaments, as well as a tennis coach at South Warren High School. Chad Young, welcome. I haven't seen you since we made bad U.S. Open picks on the last program.
I don't even remember how bad they were, but it was a pretty unpredictable tournament. So,
well, we both had Ash Barty winning the women's, and we had Djokovic winning the men's. We were pretty close on the men's.
Djokovic came close, but I don't think anybody expected Raducanu to win the women's tournament.
Right. Well, today on this episode, we've got another guest that I'm going to introduce to you in just a moment. But today on this episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, we're going to look at the results of the 2021 Glasgow Open. We do have a challenge the call question. We'll look at a little bit of what's coming up in tennis around the area also. But we have sponsors today. Chad, tell us about Vision Cabinet Source.
Oh, well, we're doing that right off the bat. I wasn't quite ready for that, but I thought that was going to come a little bit later in the show. But how about you take the first one and I'll do the second one? But that could
okay.
That up,
all right. I'll tell you about
that?
Family Medical Centers. How about that?
All
Family
right.
Medical Centers is a community health center with more than 135 locations and has been providing health care. Whoa, I just hit my keyboard and lost my place. It's live. The whole thing scrolled to the bottom of the document. All right, let's try again. Take two. Family Medical Centers is a community health center with more than 135 locations and has been providing health care to Kentuckians for over a decade. We have Adair Family Medical Center at 937 Campbellsville Road in Columbia. Their phone number is 270-384-2770. They feature a physician, a nurse practitioner, and a licensed clinical social worker. They also have a walk-in clinic called First Choice Immediate Care at 197 Will Walker Road in Columbia. The phone number there is 270-384-9981. Also, Adair County Schools features Healthy Kids Clinics. So if you're looking for a medical home, make the clinics of Family Medical Centers your first choice. They provide primary care, school-based health care, behavioral health services, oral health services, telehealth, and both pediatric and OBGYN specialty care. For a complete list of locations and providers, check out their website at cfmcky.com. There's the web address.
This podcast is also sponsored by Vision Cabinet Source, a kitchen and bath cabinet supplier that ships all over the United States and has for over a decade. If you're building a new home or renovating your existing home, Vision Cabinet Source can provide you with classic cabinet styles that are well-built and affordable. They have many different painted and stained lines of cabinets that are stocked at their warehouse in Campbellsville. In making these beautiful cabinets, they have a 17-step finishing process that assures top-quality craftsmanship. Go online and look at their styles and designs for yourself, and you'll agree that they do great work at an affordable price. Check them out on their website, visioncabinet.com, or you can call 270-465-3222 and tell them you heard about Vision Cabinet Source right here on Game Set Match Kentucky.
Thank you, Chad, and thank you to our sponsors. Well, we've got several things to discuss tonight, but we have to begin with our friend Stacy Crowley's departure from USTA Kentucky. So I want to thank her so much for joining us on short notice. Stacy's been with USTA Kentucky for 7+ years as the manager of community tennis. She's also the staff liaison for the Community Development Committee and the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. She works with 22+ community tennis associations across Kentucky and manages all USTA grants that are awarded through the state. Everybody, please welcome Stacy Crowley to the program tonight. Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
thank you for
Stacey.
having me. Hey, Chad.
Stacy, how did you get involved with USTA Kentucky? What's your tennis background?
Well, it's kind of funny because I have a nonprofit background. So when I graduated college, I served in AmeriCorps for a couple years. And if you don't know what AmeriCorps is, it's like the domestic Peace Corps. So I worked with families that were low income and helped them secure housing and things like that. And as my time with AmeriCorps was ending, I was looking for another job, and I played tennis in high school. So I saw an opening at USTA Kentucky and decided to apply. And that's kind of the end of the story from there.
In your 7+ years with USTA Kentucky, what changes have you seen in community tennis? I mean, this is a chance for you to brag on the improvements that you've made, or seriously, just any changes that you've seen with tennis in general, not just necessarily community tennis.
Sure. Well, over the years, I feel like I have really benefited from getting to know the community tennis organizations and programs across our state. And I can say, in some ways, there is a positive that came from the pandemic in the sense that it brought a lot of people to the tennis courts, and returning players and new players. And that was a big call to our community tennis providers to help provide them with programs and resources as people got out on the courts. And I've just seen it's a USTA acronym, Community Tennis Association, CTA, rise to the occasion and just bring so many opportunities for beginners and for returning players, for social leagues, for more advanced opportunities, and of course, all the junior and kid play. So I just feel really fortunate to have gotten to witness that over the years, the building of those CTAs, their leadership, and then now watching the fruit of it as they serve these millions of players that are coming to the courts at the United States. So,
well,
Did you
Stacey,
find that?
go ahead, Chad.
I'm sorry. Did you
No.
find that it was difficult for what I would call tournament players and even league players in USTA to really understand the value of the CTAs and what role they play in the tennis community?
I think that Chad, that's a really good question. I feel like the CTAs don't get enough credit for all that they do, and I don't think it's a lack of appreciation. I think a lot of times it's a lack of knowledge about what a community tennis association is. You guys are both involved with them, so there's a board, there's board meetings, there's financials and annual reports, and all this administrative headache. And I have learned over the years that there's a lot of opportunity to educate adult league players and tournament players on just the heavy lifting that CTAs do to really make tennis accessible in their community. So I think that's a great point, and I hope that that's what we can continue to do at USTA Kentucky, is bring that knowledge and education, because it only builds community tennis.
And I understand your position has already been filled.
It has. Yes. Would you like me to elaborate?
Tell
Sure.
us.
Well, we are super fortunate because in our own office, we have Maddie Natoris, who's been with USTA Kentucky for 3.5 years. And I really could go on and on about Maddie, so I will just try to be brief. She started as a junior imperative grant position with USTA Kentucky, and she just took anything that was given to her and she ran with it. And she's built a lot of awesome school programs and park programs, and worked across the state to build the school programs for tennis. So I think she will be an excellent fit, and I'm excited for her moving forward. I feel like the CTAs and the community tennis is in good hands. So yeah.
Well, Stacey, you have helped me with the Central Kentucky Tennis Series so much for the last several years that you've been working there. You've reached out and tried to. You've been proactive, in fact, in giving me ideas and things to opportunities, I guess. And you've been extremely patient. We're going to miss you a lot. But what are you going to miss? What are you going to miss most about working at USTA Kentucky?
I think this is so easy for me. Across the board, it's the people. If you haven't gotten to know our USTA Kentucky staff, you should get to know them. They are a hardworking bunch, and they are dedicated to serving the folks of Kentucky for tennis. So that's at the staff level, but then I get to work with all these amazing volunteers, and I've built these amazing relationships over the years with folks that just really love tennis and love people, and it's evident. So it's a really fun job, and I will definitely miss that. And those conversations like I have with you, Chris, where I'm trying to get you to apply for a grant or think that there's an opportunity that you might really be interested in, or, just it's endless. I will miss chatting with all the CTAs.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will feel their phones are a little quiet for a bit, but it'll pick back up. So, yeah.
I think Chad has another question.
Stacey, I'll echo what Chris said about how valuable a resource Stacey has been and all the USDA staff. I mean, we were a CTA that really had a struggle for leadership at one point in time, and the USDA was very helpful in trying to help us get the community involved and get potential people to help kind of revitalize Soki tennis, and then with the indoor facility that they're finishing, the was a big help in providing guidance and direction. I guess my question to you, Stacey, is what kind of growth have we seen in some of the other, I guess, rural parts of the state? Louisville and Lexington get a lot of attention, but how much growth have you seen, and in what ways have you seen growth in the different CTAs throughout the state?
Sure. Well, I feel like since there's 22 CTAs, I could literally go through and tell you the ways that I've seen each of them grow. But kind of a bigger picture way to look at it is the CTAs have rallied for their communities in terms of their facilities. There are some really great tennis courts that were dilapidated and ready to be turned into a parking lot, not what else you might have thought I was going to say, parking lot, or be utilized for something else. And there's been advocacy and rallying for facilities in rural parts of the state, but then also programs too. And that's one of my favorite parts of my job is just watching all of that build very slowly. So it might start with a high school tennis coach that just loves what they do and wants to build their high school team. So they start elementary school leagues, and then that feeds into their middle school. And so it just keeps progressing. And I've seen that in all types of areas in Kentucky. And I've seen really small grants be utilized in really big ways. So a $500 grant may not seem like a lot, but I've seen people take that and really creatively create a lot of opportunity in their community. So
for sure. Well, Stacey, thanks again. Are you going to hang with us for a while? We're going to go through some scores and challenge the call question.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right, let's look at some results from the 2021 Glasgow Open. This occurred over Labor Day weekend. And there was actually some rain that pushed play into the actual Labor Day Monday, and not everyone could play on that day. And technically, the following Saturday was the actual makeup day. So the tournament, I think, is basically finished. I do have a couple of missing scores we're going to run into here as we go through these results. But let's take it away here, starting with women's open singles. This was just a championship match. And Ali Salih wins it 6-1, 4-6, 11-9 in the super tiebreaker over Amber Wolf from Shepherdsville. Chad?
In boys 12 and under singles, we had a round robin, and it looks like we do have one match that wasn't played.
Right.
But,
Looks incomplete.
Yeah. So far, Reese Spalding was a winner over Miles Mudd, 6-3 and 6-1. And then Carter Bernard, or I should say it was Miles Mudd beating Carter Bernard 6-0, 6-1. So you have Reese Spalding 1-0, Miles Mudd is 1-1, and Carter Bernard is 0-1. So I guess
they're going to have to finish this.
Yeah, not a champion determined yet.
If it may be finished, it's just possible that we did not get the score yet and put it in the system. So this is boys 15 and under singles. And in that final, it was Braden Johnson defeating Tyler Sherrod 6-1, 6-4.
In boys 18 and under doubles, in the final, it was Jackson Donovan and Ben Hansen defeating Lowley and Plutz, I'm guessing. In a
Sounds
super
good.
tiebreaker, they lost the first set 7-5, won the second 6-4, and then won 10-5 in the super tiebreaker.
In boys 18 and under singles, it was Jake Taylor taking the title over Seth Thomas 7-5, 6-1.
In girls 15 and under singles, it was Addison McFall defeating Parker Lowry 6-4 and 6-3.
In girls 18 and under doubles, the team of Stobaugh and Martin defeated Lolly and McFall 6-1, 6-3.
In girls 18 and under singles, there was a win by retirement. So Eva Clark was the winner over Erin Riney in the final via a retirement. And in parentheses, it says, I believe that's personal circumstance.
Yeah, PC means personal circumstance when you see that as a walkover.
It's not politically correctness.
No, no, not in this case. So what happened, and this is not the only time we'll see a result like that for this tournament, again, because of rain and because it's pushed into Monday, pushed into Saturday the following week. There are some people who just simply could not return to play and finish. And so they said, I'll just withdraw. And so that's what happened here, probably. The next one is men's 40 and over doubles. This is another round robin. We have the team of Lex Lindsay and Jody Bingham. They defeated Flickinger and Jenkins 6-love, 6-love. They also defeated the Humphreys brothers, as we call them, but it's father and son, Steve and Don Humphreys, 6-2, 6-1. So Bingham and Lindsay, the winners in the men's 40 doubles division at the Glasgow Open.
In men's 40 and over singles, it was also a round robin, and it was Hamza Sheikh, the winner. He beat Jackson Grover 6-3, 5-7, and then 10-8 in the super tiebreak. And then he
match.
Beat William Flickinger 6-1 and 6-2.
In men's B doubles, we have the team of Jared McDonald and Nathan McQuarrie defeating Burrows and Burrows 6-love, 6-2.
In men's B singles, we have Holden Bradburn. Oh,
this
sorry,
is an incomplete. Well, I don't know that we don't have the score. Yeah. So it was either
but it was
Bradburn or Tomioka
and June Tomioka in the final.
Yep. In men's C singles, we have Kyle Williams taking the title at Glasgow over Charles Jamison Roberts, 6-2, 6-4.
In men's open doubles, it was the Morosa brothers. I believe that's Eric and Nicholas, who defeated McFall and McQuarrie 6-3 and 6-3.
So McFall and McQuarrie making it to two finals there. Men's open singles, we have another. This is actually a walkover that is not being printed here, but Lucas McFall wins this one. in a walkover, PC, personal circumstance, over Justin Ham. So congratulations to Lucas McFall.
Hey, scroll up a little bit.
Sure.
I want to see that semifinal score. What was the semifinal score for Ham?
Wow, look at that one.
Oh, he defeated Grover 11-9 in the super tiebreaker. So that was a good one as well.
Yep, lopsided first set there.
Yeah. In mixed 18 and over doubles, mixed B doubles is what I should have said. Young and Wolf in a super tiebreaker, defeating Barry Burroughs and Cheryl Hensel 6-2, 3-6, and then 10-8 in the super breaker.
Okay, mixed open doubles.
There you go.
Trina and I lost to Calden Doty and Annie Yates. I think it's Annie. I apologize if I got that wrong. They were great, and they beat us 6-2 to 6-1. One more here, Chad.
Women's open doubles. Looks like it was just one match.
Just a final.
That was Stovall and Martin defeating Hensel and Rickard 7-5 and 6-4.
All right. And that's a look at the results from the Glasgow Open. And good job by my mixed doubles partner, Trina Rickard. She runs 2 tournaments a year, and she did well, and we appreciate her work. Let's see what's next. We've got some, next time we will talk about the change that we made to our schedule, and we ended up having a second tournament in Elizabethtown. We'll talk about that next time. Also, hopefully, we'll have some point standings to look at, if not all the complete point standings for the season. But first, let's look at a couple of upcoming events in tennis around the state. The Mountain Tennis Circuit is having a tournament this coming weekend. It's the Kenneth Huffman Classic, and it's in Pikeville, Kentucky. And I think I do not have a graphic for that, actually. I'm sorry. That's September 24th through the 26th. I was not able to find information about a deadline. Also in Owensboro, the KWC Fall Tennis Classic is happening October 1st through the 3rd. That starts on a Friday night. And the deadline for that is this week on Wednesday, September 29th. Search Facebook for Davis County, Owensboro Tennis Association. Stacy, maybe you know the name of that tennis association.
That's it.
So
Owensboro Davies County Tennis Association, affiliated with Center Court.
Okay, good. And I also, on the CKTS Facebook page, I published a screenshot of their entry form, and it's got the contact info there if people want to get into that. There's a lot of tennis action going on all over the Bluegrass State, and USTA Kentucky has the rundown for you. To keep up with USTA Kentucky, visit KentuckyTennis.com or on Facebook and Twitter at USTA Kentucky. You can look for tournaments, grants, events, team activities, and other announcements. Speaking of tennis in Kentucky, we'd be remiss if we did not mention a tragic loss. 1 second here while I share that screen. The Kentucky tennis world lost an iconic figure recently when Julie Diddy Qualls passed away 3 weeks ago after a long-fought battle with breast cancer. She began playing tennis at Ashland's Russell High School when she was in the 2nd grade. Before she was a high school star, she was ranked number 1 in the country in girls 14 singles. She was also number 1 in girls 16 doubles and 21 and under in women's amateur singles. She won 12 national juniors doubles championships, plus another in singles. In high school, she was a 3-time state champion. She was named Kentucky High School Female Athlete of the Year. She went on to be an award-winning collegiate tennis player at Vanderbilt, where she was named an All-American. She was awarded the Tennessee Amateur Athlete of the Year, and the Vanderbilt University Female Athlete of the Year. She continued to play as a WTA pro for 10 years. She won a record 38 USTA Pro Circuit titles and played 4 seasons of World Team Tennis. She competed in the main draws at Wimbledon, U.S. Open, Australian Open, and the French Open, and was a member of the U.S. Fed Cup team. In April of this year, she, along with 3 former Vanderbilt tennis players, won the World Team Tennis National Championship. She was elected to Vanderbilt Athletic Hall of Fame, Kentucky High School Hall of Fame, USTA Kentucky Tennis Hall of Fame, and the Southern Tennis Hall of Fame. In May of this year, she was inducted as the inaugural member of the Ashland Tennis Center Hall of Fame. She's been an assistant coach at Vanderbilt, Middle Tennessee State, University of Louisville. She's been a youth coach, including giving free tennis lessons at the Ashland Tennis Center. She introduced tennis to nearly 1,000 juniors in northeastern Kentucky. She also served on the USTA Kentucky Board of Directors, along with other volunteer organizations. She was an inspirational player, coach, and leader in Kentucky tennis, and she will be greatly missed. I don't know if either of you two knew her. I only met her once. She couldn't have been nicer, but I didn't really know her.
Well, she served on the USTA Kentucky board, but one of my favorite memories with her is actually a wheelchair tennis clinic that we did together, where she and Meg Peavy came out to a community center, and we had maybe 15 kids that were wheelchair players, and she just made every single one of them feel like a star. She just had the biggest smile and the most encouraging coaching, and I feel very much like we not only lost an incredible tennis player, but just an incredible human being. So my heart goes out to her family. And yeah,
I never met Julie, Chris. We're about the same age, and some people may not know I grew up in Indiana and came to Bowling Green to go to school at Western, and that was the name that I heard people talk about when they talked about tennis in Kentucky. I mean, you went through her list of accomplishments. She was legendary. People talked about Julie Diddy and her high school career and her college career and her professional career. And so she was an icon in Kentucky tennis for many, many years.
Absolutely. Let's change gears a little bit. It's time to challenge the call. Are you ready? Because I need everybody's input on this. Go ahead.
And I'll set this up for you, Chris, because you talked about something that is really difficult for tournament directors. And so this challenge the call, I hate to give it away, comes from one of the worst situations you could ever deal with as a tournament director when you're playing in that tournament. And you just heard the results. I mean, Trina was playing in mixed doubles with you and playing in women's doubles with Trina. And most of the tennis directors love to play tennis. That's how they get involved in running tournaments. And, there are a lot of years I can't play in mine because of situations like happened, where something happens on court, and as you're getting ready to or playing a match, you have to deal with issues like this one.
Certainly. So here's the situation. Here's the hypothetical. If a returner interrupts a match between the first and second serve to question the score, must they give the server a first serve after they settle the discussion? So here's another way to put it. Player A serves a fault. Before they serve, they announce a score. They serve a fault. Before they hit their second serve, player B says, wait a minute, what did you say the score was? I don't think that was right. And then they talk about it for a minute, and it turns out player A was correct about the score, and they agree. Then player A, after that interruption, wants 2 serves. Player B says, no, it's second serve. Okay, so what's the rule here? Must they give the server a first serve? Do they have to? What do you think?
So my answer is player B is maybe not showing proper tennis etiquette, but the rules do not state that you have to give anybody a first serve again. It's encouraged. It's probably what should be done, but I've never seen anything that says for whatever interruption there is, whether it's a ball rolling on the court, whether it is a loose animal on the court or a conversation about the score, no one is required. I think the only thing that is in the rule book about it being required is if you were to have, hypothetically, a break in between, like a weather break that would force the players off the court. Then it might say something about somebody getting a first serve to start. But I don't think there's anything that required player B to give player A first serve again. But player B especially, but not necessarily because they caused the delay. And if there's a long delay between first and second serve, you should give someone a first serve out of courtesy. And courtesy is a lot of what the game of tennis is built upon.
Stacey, what are your thoughts?
Well, I would like to phone a friend if that's possible. Either Brian Hash or Kathy Klein.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I feel like Chad really covered a lot there. So,
He did.
I mean, I agree as far as etiquette goes that that would be the proper etiquette to give them another first serve. But as far as friend at court, I don't have a copy in my hands currently, and maybe some of the audience, since we're live, could give us some thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with Chad that it would have been the polite thing to do, especially when player B raises the question and they turn out to be wrong, and they accept that they were, that you're right. I was wrong about that question. And then to not give them a first serve, I don't know about that. But do they have to?
I don't think so.
I guess not.
And I would also say that player B is in the wrong at which point they question the score. This is something that I cover with my high school kids. If you have a question about the score, if somebody announces the score wrong, you can do that after the point is played. The results of the point still stand. And what coaches or even a roving official does in that situation, if there's confusion or conflict about what the score is or anything like that, they'll go back to an agreed point. What's the last time we agreed on the score? And then we'll go, okay, who won the next point, and who won the next point, and who won the next point. So I think that the player B should have waited until the point had been played and then said, hey, I think you announced the score wrong, because at that point the situation can be rectified. And
so I was there when this happened. I'm not going to say who it was or anything like that, but I was there when this happened, and player A left the court to go find the tournament director and ask about this and wanted a ruling on it. I don't know if it was worth leaving the court over. Now, I wasn't in that situation. So what if I'm serving at 9-8 in the super tiebreaker and this happens? Maybe I want to first serve then. I don't know where they were in the match. It could have been love won in the first. I don't know. So I don't know.
We had a comment I think I saw on Facebook Live, right?
Right, here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you interpret that?
Whomever is correct on the discussion gets the benefit. So that's from Jason Ford, and that's basically saying that if player B had been right about the score being wrong, then player B would say, no, it's a second serve because I was right in the argument. I mean, that might, I still think we're talking about etiquette and talking about what is the right thing to do. Whether, and I think it's irrelevant whether or not you were right or wrong. If there was a long discussion that obviously takes the rhythm away from the server, I think the right thing to do is to allow somebody to have a first serve, but especially when you got it wrong.
I'm way too generous with giving somebody 2 serves. I'll just almost any little thing I will do it, and I guess I would expect the same courtesy. Sometimes my doubles partner looks at me like, "Why did you give them 2? That ball wasn't even near our court." I said, "Well, I saw a ball rolling. I don't know." So,
well,
Jason,
and to be fair, sometimes I've seen players after that first serve, and they'll see a ball roll back behind the court, and they'll say, "Do you want to go get that ball?" Because they do want to get a first serve.
Yeah.
But you know what I've always found, and this is probably just me because I'm not that consistent of a server. It doesn't matter if I get the first serve. I rarely hit an ace when I get my first serve again. I'm probably going to miss it and have to hit a second serve anyway.
Yep. So there you go. Well, if you want to challenge the call by sending us a question such as this, you can send that to challenge@gamesetmatchky.com. Just email it. Also, you could send a message to us on Facebook or something like that if you wanted to, or tweet us. That is going to just about serve out this episode of Game Set Match Kentucky. I want to thank everybody who watched us live and everybody who's listening to this later by podcast. And I hope you will subscribe to this on your favorite podcast app on your mobile device, and perhaps give us a good review and a 5-star rating. You can visit GameSetMatchKY.com for all of our episodes and show notes, etc. Please go to our Facebook page and like it. The page is Game Set Match Kentucky, the podcast. Go and follow us also on Twitter at Game Set Match KY. I want to thank our sponsors, Vision Cabinet Source. Hello, Jason. And Family Medical Centers for their sponsorship. I also want to do one more thing before we're done here. Let me get my pictures loaded up. I wish this could go faster. Want to wish a very happy 60th birthday to Dave Brown, a longtime friend of mine, a longtime tennis player. And, if you've been playing on the CKTS for a while, you've seen Dave around, and we haven't seen him in a while. We do miss him, and hope he'll come and play with us again soon. Here's some pictures of Dave today that I creeped off of his Facebook page. You see him there with John McEnroe. You cannot be serious. He's with John McEnroe. Dave goes to a lot of pro tournaments and gets a lot of photos. Big Philadelphia Eagles fan. You can see there the picture. And the picture where he's sitting courtside, that's from the Atlanta BB&T Open, and he's all sweaty and he's holding a racket, so he must have played in that tournament, and I didn't even know that. So his birthday is this Friday. Hit him up on Facebook and wish him a happy birthday, or if you know him, text him or call him on Friday when he turns 60 years old. So happy birthday, Dave, from all of us at Game Set Match Kentucky.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Happy birthday.
Stacy, thank you for being here with us again today. And I know we won't see you in a work type setting, but I hope that our paths do cross again. And I hope you're not a stranger.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hawkeye says we are
Thank you.
Out.
So
Out.
Until next time, I'm Chris Godby with Chad Young and special guest Stacy Crowley, and this has been Game Set Match Kentucky.
Bye.
Let's see, we got a comment. Oh, we got a happy birthday, Dave comment from Bo. Thanks for watching, Bo. We appreciate it. All right. Thanks again, everybody. And we'll see you next time on Game Set Match Kentucky.